Okay, and then Abraxys gets advantage.
Frank is fine.
Frank
Unbreakable!
Damn!
Will of Steel.
Yeah,
Frank still has that adrenaline.
And
Frank's got that will
Hazel.
of fire going on right now.
Frank, Hazel, Solomon, and is that Abraxys?
Yeah, that's Abraxys.
Are unaffected by the fear, but everyone else trembles at the sight of the walker. It slowly turns its head and faces you. It surveys the group for a moment. Frank steps forward and speaks. We mean you no harm. We are here as friends. He says these words calm and soft.
Badass Frank.
The creature ignores Frank and focuses on the little girl in your party. It bows its head down, and Solomon, you notice the tongue from earlier kind of just stick out the side of its mouth in an awkward angle.
Your
It's a dog.
your puppy is happy to see you, I think.
Everybody
He is
else,
a big pup.
you feel as it looks at Hazel, you feel the fear just sort of melt. And the creature's form shifts and shrinks until it's about the size of what one would assume a house dog.
I'm gonna turn to Hazel and say, "Go to them, quickly."
She floats over and gives the dog a big hug.
Oh, I'm about to freaking cry, mate.
I cross
It was
my
a good boy all along.
I cross my arms, satisfied, and I say, I feel proud of myself.
So Seldra cracks a smile and there's a little bit of a tear in her eye.
Frank's like, he ignored me.
I walk up to I walk up to Frank and say, but I mean, you weren't scared at all. That was nerves of steel. Good job, man.
I put my hand on Frank's shoulder like, well done, and don't feel too bad. The doggy just saw Mama.
I guess. he kind of bashfully shrugs his shoulders.
I say also, you weren't. You had nerves of steel there.
Frank, I don't say this often, and forgive my language, but what from I've seen to you today, I can tell you're badass.
Frank's eyes shine for a moment.
When you say that, I audibly like hold back laughter because it's so
Yep.
weird hearing you say that.
Yo, Frank, up top.
Frank turns around and readies his well-prepared high five for Joel.
I gotta say, I feel like we're just
And misses completely. It's like, I'll still work on it, Joel.
Still work on it. That's the spirit.
I just feel like we're just all the positive reinforcement that Frank needs to be his true self.
Frank's
We're
like,
such
yeah,
good influences.
I'm doing the thing.
Oh,
I'm doing the hero
Abraxys
thing.
will get in on this too and kind of like lean forward and gently pat his head with a massive gauntlet.
Roll strength to not knock Frank into the
So like
sand.
low
Low rolls are better.
Is it that I hope
Crit
it is?
fail. Accept the crit fail.
No, you just give him a hard knock on the head, and he's like, "Ow!" But thanks.
Good work back there, boy. That took courage to do what you did.
Thanks. He stands up straight. Yeah. You notice Frank's posture has greatly improved since you first met him.
Yeah, he's
Yes!
starting to look more like Dapper Frank.
Close, but he doesn't have the suit.
He doesn't.
We can get him
What?
one. We
This
have
is the
one.
story.
We have a
We
suit.
have a suit.
Oh
We
fuck!
have a suit.
Oh
for him.
fuck! You're right.
Wait, we got the suit from what's his name?
Tuxedo
The guy who got the suit.
I
ready.
The masked visage.
I make my hawk, who's still holding it. I make it drop it over his shoulders.
Frank
Tenrier
puts
just
on
has
the
a
cloak.
nod.
Oh yeah. Oh, this is nice. It's kind of comfy, and he reaches into the pocket. Ow! There's something like stabbing into my. What the hell? He pulls out a rose. It's like, all right, this is. It'll
Hang
do.
on. He used that as a weapon against the other version of you. Try throwing that. See what happens.
He takes a step
Don't
to the
throw it out, you
side
don't want to hurt though.
and throws it, and it arcs elegantly through the air, and kind of lands in the soot in a pile over here.
I think that's
I
a
cross my
weapon for
arms
you.
satisfied and I say, I think we just found Frank his magical item.
Yeah, I agree.
Frank, the Archer of Roses.
I love it so much.
He stands looking super proud of that name.
We need to get him the most badass title ever, so we can call him like Master of Flying Roses.
No, Frank's a secret weapon.
Frank called upon an ancient power, the rule of Rose.
Tenrier will slowly but surely make his way over.
Perfectly.
No, I don't want to fight him. He's too cute.
I know.
Right, I'm
Ah,
curious.
Every time I have to fight Sif, I die a little bit on the inside.
If we didn't do things the way we did, would we have had to fight the Walker?
Yes.
Uh,
The Walker was intended to be a fight at some point. Considering how you did things, he was not.
Yay!
Yeah.
Good job.
Tenrier comes back to the tombstone with Abraxys and the doll and whomever else was just to follow. I feel like he's picked up the doll, Solomon, again, if he's not using his bird to fly.
So you come over to the gravestone,
Oh, yeah.
and you take a
Okay.
closer look at the gravestone, and you notice a name carved on the gravestone. It says LeBlanc.
Does it say Hazel LeBlanc?
It just says LeBlanc. There are 3 roses, freshly picked, placed at the base of the gravestone.
Tenrier
the-
reaches.
It seems like those with a magical prowess, which is everybody but fucking Joel. Please roll an Arcana check. Adam, you're feeling something oddly magical underneath
Hey,
the ground.
Abraxys. Nice.
Can I identify it?
You think it's coming from underneath the silt, but you're not entirely certain.
Well, it'd be rude to sift through it.
I actually look down and say, are we really about to dig up a grave? Because, like, I'm ruthless, but that's a little much.
Hold on. Hazel, come here.
Hazel is like, the Walker is running circles around her, and she looks over. What?
Oh, that's adorable.
I need to ask your permission for something.
What is it?
This is the grave that I think is for your family. I think you might be buried here as well. But there's something magical going on beneath the surface. Do I have your blessing to check it out?
She looks at it. I don't see why not.
Thank you.
Abraxys takes a step forward.
Hold on.
You want-
Guys, I got this.
Oh?
I got this. Hold on. Where is it?
Are you going to use Mold Earth? Please tell me you're going to use Mold
That's
Earth.
exactly what I'm doing.
Nice.
Abraxys was just going to fucking, like, scoop like a dog.
You could disturb the bodies of her and her parents, though. This is the better way of doing it.
I don't know if they're on the back side. Oh, no, this is the front, isn't it? Move the roses to the side.
You dig it up?
Yes. Gently, though, as to not hurt anything.
Underneath
part
the
about-
silt, you uncover a coffin.
Mold Earth is so awesome.
2 of them. A large one and a rather small one.
Oh.
The significantly smaller one feels oddly light when you lift it out. Would you care to open it?
Yes.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
open the coffin, and inside there is nothing.
Huh?
What?
It seems as if it were there as a formality, or just placed in meaning. There is no corpse inside, nor any sign that anything was ever held inside of it.
She's underneath in the black tar.
The large coffin, however, feels much heavier.
Abraxys will help with taking that one out.
Brexis should also cover the eyes of.
Yeah, he will cover her eyes whenever he can.
Hazel's
Yeah.
like, I can just see over that, right?
No, you can't. You can't see through my magic fingers. 8 charisma.
Hazel just starts to laugh in response to that.
I don't know what's funny about this, but if it is making you laugh, that is a good thing.
She looks back up at Abraxas. All right, I'll just not watch. That's okay.
I don't want you to feel bad or anything.
She gives him a big hug.
Hazel's so... Damn it, Rat! Hazel's so precious. She's a sweet cinnamon bun.
I feel like she might be the Baron now.
Well, she
I
would
feel.
be
Wait.
the heir.
Wait. Yeah.
If her
Okay.
father died, then technically she is.
Are you going
But,
to start to open the big coffin?
Yeah.
We do the thing.
The second you touch it, you feel a presence.
Uh-oh.
And you hear a booming voice. Who dares to defile this sacred land? A being
People that are
appears
looking-
before you. A ghostly apparition that looks all too familiar.
People
and he
that are
floats above the coffin.
Oh,
Oh, he was pretending to be the Baron.
I go forth. That would be us, by blessings of your daughter.
and
What?
we're trying to find the true Baron,
Oh, for
which I
fuck's
believe is
sake.
to you.
He looks over in the corner. This is troubling. Here I
What?
thought that you would be grave robbers, not that mine own daughter be here. He looks over at Hazel. Hazel. She peeks up over the hand of Abraxas. Come over here. And she slowly floats towards him. What happened? And she seems at a loss for words.
So I'm just gonna tell the what appears to be the real Baron everything that happened since we got here.
You
Yeah,
sit down
but-
and you begin to recount the tale of the false Baron, of finding Hazel, of going into the house, of the flames, of what you found beneath it. The
Sorry, I
Baron's
burned up your house.
it's like, well, technically I've been dead for a very, very long time, he says. It's kind
Wait,
of
what?
incredible that they kept the parties going. You see, wizards live for a long time, he says. So they must just have assumed it was still me.
So,
I hold up the bottle. Well, he's right here now.
And Hazel this whole time has been has not regained her full memory, it seems. She's still having a hard time understanding that this is her father, and doesn't really have an emotional response to anything, which seems troubling to the Baron. And he says,
by the way, she seems to have amnesia.
yes, that is rather troubling. You see, I don't actually know what happened to her. He looks at her. But from what I can see, there seems to be a deep sadness in his voice. She didn't live much longer after me.
What happened to the two of you?
Well, I don't know.
And
think I know.
I say, oh, and also this is something that I feel like should be pointed out. How did a dog become that? I point to the walker.
Oh, that? I still don't know! He's been guarding my grave ever since my death, though, and he keeps intruders out and
Loyal
constantly brings me little treats or things that he finds out in the silt flats.
like
Tenrier
chocolate.
raises his hand.
Or roses, as it happens. I don't know where he got these. These are not native.
I point to Frank.
I have a question, Baron.
Yes?
What is your relationship to, what's your relationship with Vercule?
Well, Vercule.
Did you see?
She's a young magister, correct?
Hmm,
So the time, you might want to hear this, and then I recount on what happened in the city.
Tenrier
the
will like,
university.
Oh.
yeah. I
And
think.
what has happened of the Black Magus, he said.
Which one's the
The
Black
what?
Magus?
The what?
The Black Magus, the lead magister, what has become of him?
I'll, if I had any guess, killed.
That is troubling. You say Vercule is the Grand Magister now?
Yes.
Yes.
That was not the case while I was alive. She was merely one of the lesser magisters, one of the council, while I was around.
Something's
Sir,
We
strange.
worked together occasionally, but I didn't know her very well.
But did she and you get along?
I raised my hand. By the way, for context, how long ago did you die?
He looks back and forth. Well, if I was to guess by the plant life and the size of the walker and how big it's gotten and the amount of things he's given me, century and a half.
Jeez.
Yeah.
All right, that definitely puts it in perspective.
It's a
I
long
think
time.
that she
I'm
killed
only
him.
5 years old, so.
Oh,
Um,
you're a new one, he says, looking down at you.
so you died as long ago as I am old.
Oh, is that so? About what
I don't
time
know.
did you come about?
I was born 100 years ago. Well, created, I guess.
This is oddly strange. You all
I-
must know
I-
it's very weird to see something so young knowing that your corpse has been under the ground for that long. It's weird. I don't-
I walk over to Tenrier and whisper, "How the frick old is the dad?"
I don't know, actually.
Well, if
I'm-
y'all are curious,
No, I'm
45
whis-
years old
I'm
and
wi-
counting.
I look at Tenrier and I'm like, that doesn't make any sense.
It really doesn't. Planar travel is weird. Abraxys, how old are you? You don't want to know my age, boy.
A million.
Rufus perks up. I'm 437, yeah? In case you were wondering.
I
Seriously, Abraxys, how old are you? I was an ancient. No, I am not. Put that into perspective.
How does that work?
How
Can
can
you
you
reverse aged?
Anti-ancient.
anti-ancient.
He used to be an ancient. He is now not, because he died.
That makes sense.
Ah.
Very old then.
So, Baron, Hazel
Yes.
seems to be seeking something, but she's not sure what.
That would make sense why she's able to appear when not directly next to her corpse.
Yeah, where is that? And where's yours?
Oh, it's in
We
the
found-
coffin. Why do you think? What? Here, open it up. You'll see it. I don't
Let's
care.
not,
I want to
shall
see how
we?
old I am. I want to see it. Open it. He looks at
I
you. He
get
like
up-
slams his
Wait,
business
Baron,
down.
Baron.
I get up
Open it.
onto the I get up onto the coffin and keep it closed, and I
Hold on,
say,
hold on a
"Let's
second.
not," and say we did.
Baron says, seriously, I
Baron,
can't
a
open
moment.
it. I'm curious.
Baron,
I-
a moment, please. Come over here with me, please.
I can't.
Alright, Hazel, can you go over with Abraxys, please?
Hazel
What?
floats over.
Um, hello,
I
child.
whisper
again?
quietly enough so Hazel can't hear. Do you really want to see your daughter see your rotten and moldy ass corpse? Do you really think that'd be a good sight for your daughter to see?
While this is happening, I have my puppets
I mean,
open.
she's
Open it.
hundreds of years old at this point, so I don't
Still,
know.
she still has the mentality.
I tap my chin and say, I mean, he has a point.
She still
Come
seems to have
here.
the mentality as when she was a little girl, from what I've seen from her.
She didn't
Whatever.
really.
Open the coffin. I want to see my
I
corpse.
open it with my
tried.
puppets.
Tenrier helps open it as Abraxys gently grabs Hazel's hand as he shrinks back down. Come, we didn't get to actually properly
Still don't want to
dance.
meet Ghost Mama.
Aw.
Hazel takes the hand of Abraxys. They go over
You
and they...
shrink down and go over here.
Proper dance.
Oh my god, that's adorable.
Oh,
And then the dog. I assume the walker is just running around them.
Yeah, the walker's like trying to join in, but never
I-
actually
okay.
steps
Tenrier
in.
will help the dolls open the coffin.
That's so
Alright.
wholesome.
Inside, you see a skeleton.
I say, well, that's a bit anticlimactic.
And the skeleton has on it everything else. Its cloak, its clothes has melted or withered away, except for the mask on the skeleton, which seems to be in perfect condition.
I look at
There.
him. I look at him and like, is that your item that you wanted? That you have?
That would be it.
Maybe
Wonder why I
may
couldn't
we-
remember that. He's like, yeah, that's why I wanted you to open the coffin. Wow, being dead is weird. He looks
Huh.
around.
Yeah, tell me about it. Abraxys won't stop bitching about it. May we take your key then, sir?
I mean, if it means getting closer to who murdered me and Doing whatever you do, maybe you can find the Black
Wait.
Magus and he can help you.
I say
You-
also, where did what does this key do? And I take out the key.
Oh, that? He looks at the key. That's a master key to the house. It
Oh.
opens any door in
Oh.
there.
We don't need
Oh,
that anymore.
well, we don't really need that anymore. Yeah.
Well,
I think-
I say, do you want it now? Souvenir?
Sure, throw it
mean,
in my
he-
coffin. I don't care.
I throw it in the
Tenrier-
coffin.
I literally
Yeah.
can't leave this spot. I don't. Just put my coffin
Yeah.
back and I'll stop being
Hey,
conscious.
I-
But
I
you
say,
know.
I say, hmm.
Also-
just can I at
Baron.
least? Yes.
After this is all over and we've done what we have to, if it is possible and if she still desires to, would it be alright if we took Hazel with us?
If she wishes, I think it would be good for her. And
I
also,
believe that my family
could
has
possibly-
the means we could... Yes?
you could possibly help her find what's been troubling her so much. If you do, please come back and visit me sometime. Dig up my grave and say hi.
um,
I'll be sure to do so.
may I speak with
It
the
was
Baron?
that day that Seldra made 2 ghost friends.
May I
Yes.
speak with the Baron alone for a moment?
Sure.
He looks to the
Alright.
party. He's just like, may I speak with him alone for a moment?
I'm gonna go play with the dog.
Yeah.
Do
Seldra
you
just
touch
gonna
the
watch this
dog?
play.
Yes, I try and pet the dog.
As you
So-
touch
so
the
this-
dog, you feel pure death energy, and you feel like if you go any further, your hand might melt.
Oh my god, that's beautiful.
I do not pet the dog. I say, let's just play fetch.
Can we take the doggy with us?
Oh god. Tenrier is going
I don't
to...
know. The dog's too busy being a good boy at this grave.
Tenrier's
the
gonna,
dog-
That's fair.
Yeah.
He is being a good boy.
Tenrier's gonna whisper to the Baron, so if you want, we can go to the DM voice chat for a moment.
I mean, is
He
this
doesn't want
something
the
you
party
don't
to
want anyone
hear.
else to hear? Okay.
He pulls out the golden locket, opens it. I figured you want a memento.
I appreciate this. He holds it. I know this is important, and I can't remember her name, but thank you.
He pulls out the family portrait and kind of flips it around to see if there's any names on the back.
Unfortunately, anything that would have been there seems to have been destroyed.
Well, at least I can leave you with these. I didn't have much of a father figure myself, and hurts to see a friend's loved one hurt.
I do dearly hope there's something you can do for Hazel as well. She seems to have attached herself to you.
Yeah, she's a good girl. I
Yeah.
think we might be able to do something for her, and I made a promise to fix her teddy bear so she can hug it again.
Sounds very nice. If only I could do something about it, he says, looking down at his hands.
Hey, he kind of like reaches out and he tries to his best to sort of like do that thing where you put your hands over where the other person's hands would be,
Mm-hmm.
and kind of like clasps a little bit the air. Listen, I know it's a long shot, and I know that it's probably frowned upon. You've been dead for 100 some odd years, but I think my teacher has an idea. And I have, as they think I am sort of a idiot, I have studied a little bit. I know that there is resurrection magic out there. I was hoping to try to do something for Abraxys eventually, but maybe I can try to see if I can't do something for you and your daughter. Give you guys a second chance. You deserve it.
He seems genuinely touched for a moment, and he looks at you and says, I've lived long enough a life, but my daughter's was abruptly cut short. If you find a way to do such a thing, think of her first.
I will. After all, I already have one friend I have to help, and hopefully Penny will be back by the time we get there.
Penny? No
Ah,
dead people?
she was turned into black ooze whenever her magic was taken from her.
Ooh, that's some nasty wizard business.
Yeah, that's why I want to murder. What's her name?
Virgil.
Yeah.
Well, he looks down. You'll need the key if you're going to find her. Take the mask. That'll get you in.
Thank you. And for what it's worth, sir, I'll do what I can to make sure your daughter stays happy. Make sure she can lead a happy life.
He puts a hand on your shoulder, an ethereal hand, and says, I appreciate that.
Thanks. He will slowly pick up the mask and look it over before putting it to the side.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I should call the others back over so we can put you back in the ground, I guess.
Yeah, please do that. I don't want to just sit here staring at silt for however long it takes you to figure that out.
Yeah.
It'll be like
Hey,
an
maybe-
instant, you know?
Yeah. Hey, who knows? Maybe we can try to fix this place too. Make it back to being the lush greenery it was.
That would take a serious magical force, but he looks around. I think you seem like the type that would be up to the task.
Yeah. Sounds like fun. Also, I never said any of this.
Oh,
Have to keep up appearances.
sure, you just insulted me in my grave, right? Is that how this works?
No. You can say
How
I
about
did
I just not say
something.
anything? I'm gonna say you said
Yeah.
something. I said the food was
Questions.
bad. Oh, did you? He looks back and forth. Did you meet the chef? Is he still there?
Yes. He
Oh,
was
thank
still
God.
alive.
All right, that guy's been in the family almost. Not in the family, but he's been
Yeah.
helping for a while. I'm glad he's all right.
Yeah, we saved him. We made sure to get him and the other guests away from the manor.
Good, good. All right, go to them. I'll
Thank
float here.
And we'll get you back in the ground as soon as we can. And he will carefully put the locket around the skeleton's neck and latch it.
As you do that, the locket appears on the visage of the man in spectral form. And he
That's cool.
looks down at it and picks it up. Well, that's some serious spirit bullshit.
It really is.
He's like, well, back into the ground, I guess.
Yeah.
Go talk to your friends.
Hey
Oh,
Hello.
they're back.
guys, I need some
Adam.
help putting well, I would say flesh and bones, but it's just bones at this point.
Adam.
I have
went
many
to-
bones, not many flesh.
Adam went to go do a thing.
Ah.
Can't remember
Speaking
what
of,
he
I am back.
Dan's
Wow.
back!
Did you
Hello.
hear that?
Yeah.
I heard it through my headset as I sat down in my chair.
All right.
Fucking brilliant timing.
Nice.
Great.
Tenrier has moved and the mask is on his hip as he's slowly trying to pull the freaking coffin lid back on. Just come on, come on.
So, do you want some help with that? I wait. I don't.
I can do this. He's just gonna try and pull it up.
You get it halfway. He's like, you're really not that skilled at the strength stuff, are you, kid?
I'm only average in strength. If I had to make a guess, I'm more about the finesse and
Hey, orc guy. Hey. What? Can you
Frank,
help
me out
this
here,
guy?
Frank.
Ah, yeah, sure. Frank pulls the other side of the coffin almost effortlessly and helps you to hover the Baron's coffin over. And as you do, the Baron gives a solemn wave and vanishes from sight.
Note to self: eat what Frank is eating.
Frank looks over. I'm eating Joel's cooking just like you.
And how the hell are you so strong?
He's a half orc / nor. Is he a half orc or a normal orc?
He's a half orc.
He
Okay.
pokes Frank in the stomach. What are you made of?
Half orc.
Oh, because of your orcish heritage, but that's besides the point.
I have orcish heritage?
You're.
Du- You're
How do you not know that you're an orc? Or
I thought I was
orc?
part broccoli!
Frank, who the fuck are your parents?
And then he kindly leaves.
He looks
Frank an
back
orphan?
around suddenly in existential crisis.
Is Frank an orphan or was he adopted?
Frank looks back and forth. I don't know.
He was adopted by broccoli.
Frank,
Shit.
were you abandoned?
I've been studying at the school for as long as I can remember.
And how long can you remember?
He thinks for a moment. 6, 7, 5, maybe 5 years old.
God damn, you're worse than I am.
Hmm.
At least you weren't on the street for 7 years.
I was in a school for like all my life. He says, looking
I,
around.
I go over and I say, well, all my life I've been a servant.
That's Frank looks down. A little depressing, actually. What?
Yeah, 5 years. You don't want to be a servant to a wizard for 5 years.
Well, you know what they say, Solomon?
Hmm?
There are no strings on you anymore.
Yes, that is very true. The dog is.
Dog
dog
comes
has-
over
They
and starts
do need
sniffing
to-
you.
And say, oh, you're cute, but I can't pet you because I'm afraid that I'll disintegrate.
The dog lolls its head to the side.
Well, let's put him back on the ground. Abraxys, can you help with that? Oh, one moment, Hazel. I must go help them bury your father again.
They've been dancing the whole time canonically.
Hazel's like, oh
Canonically.
right, yeah, that's my dad. She looks puzzled. It's like, I wish that I thought he was my dad. I'm sure he is. I just have no memories of it.
Don't worry.
Hopefully we can help you with that, so
If it makes you feel any better, Hazel. He leans down and whispers, the boy over there can't remember much of his family either.
Oh, maybe that's his dad.
No.
She's
He
like,
represses those memories.
she taps
a lot.
Tenrier on the shoulder.
Hey,
Mr.
hello,
Tenrier?
what's up?
Do you wanna share a dad?
Oh, that's adorable.
Oh, that's so precious.
He kind of like tilts his head and like looks up at Braxis. I mean, if you want to put up with a 16-foot dragon man as your father, feel free.
She looks over at Abraxys and just leaps and gives him another hug.
He just pats her head a little, looking down at Tenrier with the mental ache, going, "You son of a bitch." Let's put this guy back in the crowd.
My heart, it has been slain.
Oh.
Using a combination of magic and brute force, you place the grave back into the ground and cover it over with silt.
Tenrier will reach into Frank's new pockets and pull out a rose and place it on top of where we just buried him.
All right, it's for semantics' sake, it's back where the grave actually is.
Okay.
Oh God.
Mask in hand. Oh yeah, you never looked at that piece of paper you picked up.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna look at that.
What does that say? I'm terrified.
Yeah,
now.
what is it?
Give me an Arcana check.
Oh God,
Okay.
is that a?
You got a
Neat.
scroll of teleport.
Oh shit!
Ooh.
Where the hell does that lead?
Man,
I-
Wherever
Kind
you
of
want,
what-
man.
who knows?
Yeah,
It's a
the
scroll
spell
that
teleport.
casts the spell teleport.
Oh,
So,
okay.
Solomon, what was that paper?
Nothing. I roll it back up and put it back in my pocket.
You sure? Because like I've got this scroll here that I've been itching to use for something.
What is it?
It's a
Can we get
spell
two?
scroll that I can inscribe onto.
I say, ooh, 2 scrolls of teleport.
He keeps hold of the other one. Ah, so it was a scroll of teleport.
Yes, it was.
We might be able to make a second one then, if we're
Yes.
lucky.
Neat. I trust you more. You more with this. I hand him the scroll of teleport.
He looks at it. It's like, right. I will.
Plus,
I will
you actually have pockets.
I also have a chest.
It's very difficult for me to carry things.
Tenrier just taps his like chest backpack. He's like, yeah, I've got a chest.
Hazel gets
Yeah.
off of Abraxys and comes down. So, where are we going next?
I need a bag of holding.
Yes, so do I.
We need to find what you're missing.
I wonder. I imitate a bell. Bong, bong,
Bell tower, huh?
bong.
Oh, right. Thank you, Solomon.
Oh
Feels
wait,
Yeah.
can
behind
you
her.
guys see it now? I point to it.
Everybody can see the bell tower.
Told you I'm not crazy.
I
It's
never
about-
thought you were crazy, Solomon.
It's about.
Are you sure?
It's about like 100 feet through the silt
Which
flats.
direction?
South.
From like here,
where you
I'm
are.
assuming it's south.
Hmm.
Abraxas kind of like walks over. Well, I know one way to get there.
Choo choo,
Yeah, let's just
Abraxas.
do that.
Choo choo.
Everybody,
Everybody?
choo-choo train.
I
Everyone,
think I'm
tie yourself
gonna-
to the rope.
I think I'm
Henry's
gonna.
just like, oh god.
I'm gonna have to end the session there because that's all I have
All
prepared.
right.
Yeah.
I don't have the
Alright.
bell tower set up.
One last thing. One
I'm
last
good with
thing.
that. I'm
One
good
last
with that.
thing.
One last thing though.
Mhm.
Joel tries to amount enough courage to pet the dog.
Oh god, do it,
Oh
yes!
god.
Joel, give me a roll.
Okay, should this be like a wisdom roll, a roll of
Joel's
will?
about to need.
I
Joel's
think
about
a-
to need a robot
A
hand.
wisdom roll.
Okay. My best modifier. Let's go. Let's go.
Nice.
Dog time.
Joel, you're able to pet the dog without any harm befalling you. It feels fluffy
Yay.
and nice.
Oh,
I look at my hand. I look at the dog. I look at my hand. I look at the dog. Why not?
Okay, I'm gonna go roll again. I'm gonna roll again.
is it?
Give me some scritches.
Wesley, you, however, touch the walker
Oh,
and
boy.
feel a static shock of power as you touch it. You feel like
Ow.
if you instantly recoil and feel like any prolonged contact with this thing might mean death.
Huh. I look at Joel.
Someone's gonna
I
attempt to pet it
imagine
too.
that the walker looks like the dog in my profile image, but kind of spooky.
Yeah.
Yes.
For the sake of research and out of her strong, intense, overwhelming sense of curiosity, she's gonna try to pet the puppo too.
Okay, give me another wisdom save.
-2 on those rolls.
Oh my god, Adam, no!
No.
I mean, she is a cop.
So guys, Madame Seldra's dead.
What?
No, but Madame Seldra, you reach your hand down to the walker, you touch it, and as it touches the walker, your hand starts to disintegrate.
Someone's gonna pull her head back. Oh dear.
You pull your
Is it
hand
still
back and the
disintegrating?
disintegration doesn't stop. It goes down the fingers and is continuing to the wrist.
Tenrier cuts.
Take
goes to
off
cut
your arm!
Yeah, Tenrier goes to cut off the arm.
Okay, make an attack roll against Seldra.
Would you say this is an advantage because she's kind of panicking or
Yes,
something?
yes, go ahead.
Yeah, and I'm not resisting.
You make
at
a
all.
chop
I'm hits.
right below the elbow, and you chop off the forearm and what's left of the hand. It lays on the silt, and in an instant disintegrates into nothing.
Well, that's worrying.
Sheaths the sword. Oh, I'm so glad I
Let's-
have.
I look at the dog. Let's not touch that.
Okay,
Joel,
I'm-
meanwhile, still
I'm
scratching it.
I look at my hand and I wonder how I still have a hand after it took chocolate from my hand.
Right, shit. Shit. He grabs Solomon. Mend her, please.
Menu's gonna fix that,
I,
right?
I
Mending
cast,
is not going to fix that. You currently don't have a right forearm, Adam.
yeah, mending doesn't recreate stuff. It only
Make her
fixes.
stop leaking oil!
Aha!
So a long rest, you're saying.
Yeah.
Everyone, do you mind if we take a bit of a rest for a while? I need to do repairs.
The dog
Okay,
looks at you.
canonically, that's how we take a break for the next section.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
As the dog looks at me, I say, "Don't feel bad. I didn't know. It's not your fault."
So, are you guys, instead of going back, you're going to continue to the bell tower and try and
Mhm.
find out what's going on with Hazel? Is that the idea?
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's
Yeah.
our friend. We're gonna help her out.
Yeah.
Right.
We're gonna take a long rest
so-
first, probably.
Please, I don't need more kids to look after.
Right. In context, between this session and next session, the entire time, I assume that'll be the duration of the long rest. Seldra could be seen with her hand against where the stump was, slowly moving it out as she reconstructs it and slowly chants.